What is up, everybody?
Hey.
Welcome back. Oh, okay. All right.
I'm so sorry. I thought we were doing a fun joint intro.
Yeah. It can be that as well.
Okay. It can be that now. Sorry. Hey, everybody. What's up? It's your girl, Kendra.
What's up? It's John, and welcome to another edition of Ringside.
Can I try? Hold on.
Yeah.
What was the first part of what you said? Welcome, everybody, to...
I say welcome to another edition of... I say like, hello, everyone, or what's up, everyone. Whatever. You feel it out.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Ringside.
Hey.
With John and Kendra.
That wasn't half bad.
Thanks. I think I have a future.
We've got a regular old Samantha Irvin in this place.
Samantha walked so I can fly.
That's true. Sorry, hang on. I have this really bad habit, folks, that I just fidget with stuff, and one of my cat's toys was by my foot.
In fidget distance.
Yeah. So naturally,
he kicked it with the strength of Hercules. He could have brushed it to the side quietly, and he decided not to do that.
It's got rolling balls in it. You would have heard it. Either way, there was no doing it quietly.
Sure.
Anyway, welcome. Ooh,
we already did that part. Fast forward.
Anyway, welcome everyone. We are back, and we've got some stuff we want to talk about today.
Yeah.
But you know what? Before we talk about anything, we are going to get to. We went to the movies to go see Shazam: Fury of the Gods. But before we even talk about that, I want to talk about the trip to the movies itself. I don't know what it is about. Maybe it's fucking me. The last couple times you and I have seen a motion picture together,
oh god,
we went to the old picture show. Mm-hmm. I'm just sat next to a bunch of fucking yahoos.
Here's the thing. I think part of it is getting older, right? When you're a teenager, when I was a teenager in the movies, I was the annoying one because everyone obviously paid money to be there to see me and hear all my great jokes. So I think part of it's just like getting older and being more conscious of your surroundings. But also, I think people are becoming more and more emboldened. I think people for so long have just like been able to watch things in the comfort of their own home that they kind of forgot, like, oh, there are people around me. Every time I check my phone, every time I make a comment in the quiet part of the movie, like other people can hear me. So I'm going to give people the benefit of the doubt and say that it's that. But I mean, either way, it's annoying. And I can't believe, I mean, it's fine. I'm more than happy to talk about it, but it's just really funny that we're starting this out with a rant about movie theater etiquette.
I know. Well, listen, people, I think you're right. I think people have just lost all sense of, goddamn sense when going out. And like, whatever, it's a movie. It's not the end of the world. And truth be told, it didn't really affect how much I did or did not enjoy a movie, you know? But as an experience, I'm like, it would be one thing if like maybe there was no one else in your row and you're the only person. Well, like I said, if there's no one else in your row and you pull out your phone, because maybe you're oblivious to the fact that the people behind you can still see your fucking phone.
Yeah.
This freaking Yahoo is sitting right next to me.
Oh my god, this is 30-year-old vocabulary. Yahoo.
And I was like, listen, pal. No, I didn't say that. No, this fucking dude next to me was on his fucking phone, just whips it out all willy-nilly. And after a certain point, after like the second or third time he did it, I just turned my little happy ass over and looked at his phone. I don't know.
I mean, hey, what are we looking at, bud?
Yeah. And I think he got the hint. This is a joint
experience now.
I think he got the hint at that point because he put his shit away. Mm-hmm. But I'm just like... And at least I think the second time he did it, he at least lowered the brightness a little bit.
Yeah, people turn on their phones in the theater at full fucking Gen X brightness.
Right. So I just... And then there was like a kid... Some person was letting their kid like run up and down the steps.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Like, if your kid doesn't know how to, I understand. Like, well, I don't want to sound like fucking old, but
it wasn't. It also wasn't like a toddler, you know. Right. It was like a 6-7-year-old who should know better.
Right, and you've just like not managed your kid before. And again, I'm just.
You're a bad manager.
Yeah, you know what? That kid is at an age where they don't need a parent, they need a supervisor. No, I'm just kidding.
They need a direct report.
Yeah.
So it sounds like we're not the kind of people to go to like opening night of a movie. We were there at 7:30, like prime movie watching time.
Right.
That I expect to be distracted at those types of showings, which is why we do not go to those. We go to matinees usually on...
If we can do it during the week, great.
If we can do it during the week, we do that. But yeah, this was like a 2:30 show.
On a Saturday.
So we try to take the necessary steps to not be around people because we know that we're both easily distracted by stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I guess good for Shazam, there were more people there than I anticipated.
Right.
But yeah, it was a little annoying. But like you said, it wasn't anything that distracts you too bad from the overall enjoyment of the movie.
Right.
But it could, and it has in the past.
Yeah, I mean, I just think back to, when we saw Glass Onion, that drunk lady was sitting next to me.
Yeah, you fucking hated that lady.
But like, yeah, here's my thing though, is you see, I don't know how much time movie theaters dedicate now in their trailers or their preamble before the trailers start.
Yeah, they tell you over and over to
turn your fucking phone, or at least put it on silent. Like, and what's crazy is that those are the same people that will then come to a fucking show, like a live performance, and do the same fucking thing.
Yeah, that's like an extra level of insult. Because in a movie theater, you're distracting your other theater goers. In live theater, you're distracting your theater goers and the actors on the stage trying to provide you entertainment that you paid for.
Oh, so like, insane. I have done a show out in a park before, like an outdoor show. Mm-hmm. And that obviously, like, that's different. I mean, don't use flash photography, even in that setting. But, like, whatever. You're outside. There's a million and one things you're trying to... You really learn to, like, hone in on all the outdoorsiness, Or hone in on the show because of all that other stuff. But I've also done shows indoors where I get distracted and I, like, go up for a hot second because I see some bright fucking light... on some person trying to get a hard candy out of their bag. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
I think there's a theater I think they started in Texas, maybe Austin. I think it's called Alamo Draft House. And they'll kick you out. They kicked Madonna out for being on her phone. And I think more places need to be like that.
I think Madonna was kicked out. Either she wasn't kicked out or I think she went to see Hamilton when it was off Broadway. And was on her phone the entire time. And then when she requested access to meet the cast backstage, they denied it.
Fuck you. No.
They said,
hey guys, don't be like Madonna. Put your phone down in any sort of theater.
Yeah.
I think theaters should be more strict about kicking people out. Only because also I want to see people get kicked out. I think that'd be very fun.
Right. Well, we've talked about it a couple times. One of the best experiences in a theater was we went to New York and saw Phantom on Broadway.
Yes. And
this was just before all of the COVID restrictions were kind of made a little more lenient. Yeah.
Yeah. So you still had to wear masks in public spaces.
Yeah, you still had to wear masks indoors. You had to show proof of vaccinations before you went inside anywhere. And what was great is that you saw people, and maybe they were tourists, maybe they didn't realize. Although I feel like at this point in time, it was very difficult to ignore safety protocols. But yeah, the fucking ushers, they would come right up and just flash the brightest flashlight you've ever seen.
A very, like, directional flashlight. Right. It only hit the person who would take down their mask for whatever reason. Right. And they'd tell them to go put them back up. Hilarious. Loved it.
Yeah.
Didn't take away from the performance. In fact, added to it. Although I guess you could, Phantom of the Opera is one of those rare occasions where I've probably seen the show more than the people who have been in it. Right. So I know it like the back of my hand, so it's not distracting because I memorized every word. Right.
But anyway, all that to say, this is your PSA for just stay off your fucking phone.
Turn off the ringer, turn off any alarms. If you, for some reason, have your birth control alarm for 2 p.m. on a Saturday, that's a horrible time to do that. Right. A. B, just turn it off. Because, everyone around you fucking hate you in that moment. And it is a bonding experience for the rest of us. I felt closer to you yesterday.
And I felt closer to you.
And, that is joyous. So thank you to that man. But also, like, fuck you. Don't do that.
Yeah. Anyway.
Moving on. Let's talk about something.
Sorry, now that we're past our curmudgeon moment of this episode. But I do want to talk about the movie we did go see, which was Shazam! Fury of the Gods. It is a direct follow-up to Shazam. I think it was 2018. Holy shit.
2018? Really?
I think.
That feels like forever ago.
Maybe
2019.
I know it's been a long time because we're like, God damn, why'd they wait so long?
That's true. And it wasn't COVID times when that came out.
2019.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, we went and checked out Shazam! Fury of the Gods. I already said that. I am just really repetitive today, folks. I am so sorry. Kendra has a V8 Energy and didn't get me one.
What?
So
Are you taking a picture?
No, I'm pulling up my. Yeah, I'm taking.
I thought you were taking a selfie in the middle
a quick
of the
one for the
recording.
Instagram
I was like, okay.
right before.
Yeah, so let's say highly anticipated for us because we really, really enjoyed the first Shazam movie.
A lot more than I thought we would.
Yeah, because it was like one of the first good DC movies. There was like at that point, 2019. So we had Wonder Woman.
In terms of like good movies?
Yeah.
I guess it's subjective, but
of course it's subjective.
But like we had Man of Steel.
Okay.
We had Wonder Woman.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of when maybe we had the Harley Quinn movie, the Birds of Prey. Although I don't know.
I think that came out during COVID.
after Shazam.
I think that was in 2020.
Yeah. So
yeah, it was just those two. So we were so used to being served poo-poo. And we had like a buttered piece of toast. And you're like, oh, that's delicious. That was Shazam.
Right.
And Shazam's one of the very few, if only, DC movies that I actually rewatch. Because it was funny. It was funny and overall like lighthearted.
Yeah.
I thought everyone in the cast did super well. And yeah, so we were anticipating it pretty highly. That being said, I also don't trust sequels from DC.
Right.
Because like Wonder Woman was great. And then the second one was not. So, and then, so I just I was excited. I didn't have high hopes. And then hearing, not even other people's reactions, just let's say some comments made by the cast. And then also seeing the most recent TV spot for Shazam,
right,
in which they spoil a huge cameo. You were even like, uh-oh, like, why are they desperate to have people know that this is coming?
Right.
Because to me, in my head, and yours probably too, that makes me feel like we need people in the theater.
We need meat in the seats.
We don't trust, like, the campaign of our own, like, most of the film. We need to show this.
Right.
To make it enticing. Why? What's wrong with your film?
Right. Yeah. I agree, though. I think that what separated Shazam from everything DC was doing up until that point was that it was fun, and it wasn't like a carbon copy of like the Marvel formula either. Like it still felt, I mean, to an extent, it felt like it was still included with the rest of the DCEU at that point. It's no longer the DCEU.
Yeah. But only like loosely.
Legally.
Yeah, and I think that's also why it was so refreshing, because it's like at that point I had not seen any of the other movies. I just heard about them. Wait,
you saw Suicide Squad?
I saw Suicide Squad, and I did see Wonder Woman. And I did see Man of Steel all before that, right? And anyway, I didn't need to remember any of the backstories from the worst movies. Right. I didn't need to. It was just kind of its own thing.
Yeah.
And I find that very refreshing.
Yeah, even though they acknowledge the other heroes and other characters, it really kind of did just live within its own little sphere in Philadelphia, which is also a cool place that you don't see movies or like superhero movies take place in very often. That was cool. But yeah, it was funny. It still had, those, and this is a testament to the director. It had those moments where you could see like the horror influence, or you could definitely tell that it was I'm talking about the first one, of course, was very influenced by the movie Big. But it made for a really interesting way to tell an origin story for this kid who has nothing, but then all of a sudden has everything, and just his family dynamic. It was a super refreshing DC movie, like you said. All that to say that I agreed with you. So yeah, we were super surprised. But I think everyone I've talked to about that movie has all kind of been on the same, like, wasn't really expecting much from it because of all the characters. It's not the most well known,
right?
Outside of like comic book readers, or like people who play video games or something like that.
It kind of reminded me of like Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Or even like the first Guardians movie, even though it's not a team up, so it's not an like exact good comparison. But it was just kind of like, it was not super connected to everything else. It was funny in a genuine way, and I think a lot of that has to do with Zachary Levi. I think Zachary Levi is very good at being genuinely funny and not try hard funny.
Right.
I guess that's also subjective to like your type of humor and what you find funny. But both,
I agree.
Yeah, but they both Shazam 1 and Fury of the Gods were funny.
Yeah, so I mean, kind of switching gears over to Fury of the Gods more specifically. Generally speaking, I really, really enjoyed this movie. Personally, I was kind of on the same token as you, where I thought some early reactions I saw and the bizarre marketing campaign they had, maybe that helps the movie in a sense, because my expectations were actually kind of low. I think I even said before we saw it, I'm going to be real pissed if we don't at least like this movie.
You said you'd be mad if we didn't have like an enjoyable time.
Right. Yeah. But oddly enough, I had a very enjoyable time watching this movie. I think if you like the first one, you're going to like this one.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's I think that's a good.
It feels, it's cut from the same cloth. Yeah. Which is really, really cool. And I really appreciated that same tone was there. They didn't lose the humor. And before we get into like other story specifics, I do want to shout out some of the cast here, particularly the additions of Lucy Liu and Helen Mirren, who, I mean, I'm excited to hear what you think. I thought they were fantastic in this movie.
Oh, you want to hear what I think right now?
Yeah.
Yes. I think it's I told you this as we were walking out. It's very ambitious to put singularly Lucy Liu, but also with Helen Mirren and
Rachel Zegler.
Rachel Zegler? Mm-hmm. Okay. There was another Rachel. Never mind. Have them be like the bad guys and me not root for them. Because I'm not going to lie. If Lucy Liu, spoiler alert, she didn't... They didn't win because it's a Shazam movie, so they didn't win. The bad guys didn't win.
Right.
But if they would have, I would have been like, you know what? Oh, well. Because you know who gets to stick around? Lucy Liu.
Slay me, mama.
Sorry. Like, I'm okay with that. Whatever hellscape you want me to live in. If you are my empress, I'd be okay.
Right.
I just like seeing Lucy Liu and stuff. I think Lucy Liu is like super underrated. Put her in more stuff. I want to see her everywhere.
I really enjoyed Helen Mirren in this movie, but yeah, Lucy Liu just kind of, I don't know, that was the unexpected turn for me, was, light spoilers, everyone, was kind of seeing her run the show and be kind of the big bad of the movie. I thought that was super cool, especially because those two in particular, I feel like, and mind you, I have not seen the Fast and the Furious movies, but I feel like we don't see Helen Mirren as a villain very often. I know she was in one of the, I don't know if she was a villain or not. I don't know if I've ever seen Helen Mirren in anything. Really? Not that I can think of. Anyway, am I thinking of the same? You know what? It's official. Helen Mirren has been in the Fast and the Furious movies. No one go fact check that. Even if she hasn't, she has been now. Yeah. She was an extra. You just don't remember. She was an extra. I don't remember. But yeah, no, I don't think I've ever seen her as a villain in anything. And come to think of it, I don't think I've seen Lucy Liu as a villain in anything. She was a mean boss in that one Netflix rom-com. Yeah, but I remember that. But I don't think that's a villain, and I could be wrong. But it was at least my first time seeing her as a villain, and I really, really enjoyed it. I thought she was awesome, and much like in the first film, Jack Dylan Grazer, who played Freddy, that young man is just very funny and very talented.
Yeah. I think it's really impressive, even in the first movie, probably more so in the first movie, that him as a child can be like a good comedic partner to Zachary Levi.
Right.
And like, it's not one-sided. Like his timing is just like so natural that he can keep up with someone as funny and experienced as Zachary Levi, and it's not like weird. And
he also does it in scenes in this movie without
right.
Zachary Levi.
Yeah.
He's just he's such a quick-witted actor. And like you said, his timing is just impeccable. And yeah, I mean, he was, every time he was on screen, like you were, at least I was almost like preemptively laughing because I knew he was going to like do or say something funny.
John's busting the gut.
I was busting the fucking gut in that movie.
I will say though, sometimes during his more dramatic scenes, I wasn't as in it. What is it? What
invested?
Am I trying to say? Not invested, but like believing. Only because it felt like it was 0 to 100 very, very quickly, like too quickly, like unnaturally quickly. And then it reminded me like, oh yeah, this is acting. Like this is an actor acting in a dramatic scene.
Right.
So, I mean,
that's interesting.
Yeah, it was just something that I noticed.
Yeah.
Sitting in the theater, I was like, oh, this is kind of like, this is a lot for this moment.
Right.
But I don't know.
I get that. I can feel that. I'll tell you who I did feel bad for, though. I felt bad for Asher Angel.
Yeah.
Which, talk about a natural superhero name.
That's a great name.
He plays Billy Batson, and his name is actually Asher Angel. Who, he was great in the first Shazam movie. And, I mean, he was good in this, too. But
what we saw of him.
Yeah, he was in, like, maybe 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Which I totally understand. They really wanted to have Shazam be the focal point of the movie. But like, I think this is the only area for me where the movie kind of, I can see why a lot of the common complaints were it kind of lost its heart. And it's only because they're focusing on this like big thing that's happening in this movie. But because of that, they kind of sacrificed the relationship Billy has with his family.
Yeah.
They're really focusing on Billy as Shazam with his family and like his own internal struggles, you know?
Yeah.
Which is why I think that some of the moments of like, you know, oh, we're your family and, you know, we're always be together, you're wise, blah, 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 blah. All that stuff didn't land as hard as it could have. But again, for me, it was a minor blip. It wasn't really something that took away from my enjoyment of the movie. I enjoyed all the action set pieces.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the banter between all the characters. And also shout out to, I don't want to get her name wrong, Grace Caroline Curry, who played Mary in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Who got to play both versions, you know, regular Mary and superhero Mary.
Yeah. I thought that was a cool little thing that they added. And I mean, it makes sense in the canon of the story. Like, you're a kid, so you Shazam into an adult. If you're already an adult, you Shazam into an adult with different clothes on.
Right.
So I thought that was cool. And it was also interesting because it's not really a spoiler, but we left off here at a point where it's like we could keep going, but they did mention that Billy was turning 18 in 3 months or whatever.
5 months.
5 months. Pardon. So then I was like, oh, does that mean is he going to just be Zachary Levi in 5 months if they do another one? Is it going to be like a time jump to where he is that age? Like, that was a little bit, I was just interested, like, oh, why? That's so specific that they brought up him turning 18. And I know that it was part of the plot of like one of the interfamily conflicts.
Right.
But this new mechanic that they have in the Shazam transformation.
Right.
I was like, oh, so he's just going to be himself in 5 months. Shazamming into himself.
I mean, listen, here's the thing. Zachary Levi, very handsome man. I don't think he's going to pass off for 18.
No, me neither. That's why I was concerned. But
right.
This might not even be... They might not make another one. If they do, I could see them time jumping, though.
Right.
To keep Zachary Levi in the Shazam character.
Yeah.
But I don't.
I mean, there's no reason why Billy couldn't just stay that way. I mean, if you think of, if we're basing it off of Black Adam,
Okay.
if we're basing it,
Great place to base it. What's up?
well, fucking Black Adam is basically just permanently, he stays in Shazam. Like,
yeah, he's also like emotionally repressed and traumatized.
So is Billy.
Different reasons.
I mean, I guess
I don't think it would be good for Billy's mental health to stay Shazammed.
Yeah.
But another thing that I will say, we mentioned that Billy as Billy didn't really get a lot of screen time, especially compared to the first movie. And I will say I was surprised by the amount of times that they did keep them Shazammed into their adult versions. Like, we got a lot of the adults. We got a scene of the adults last time, like, all together. So I did think that was interesting.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Especially because they only popped up at the end in the last one.
Yeah. And I think because the first time when we saw them, it was just more like a visual thing. Mm-hmm. And they had like a couple lines that matched their younger selves, and that was it. So I think we got to see that cast kind of show why they were cast as that cast. Like, the woman who plays Darla, aged up.
Oh, yeah. Megan Good.
Is so good at being Darla.
Yeah.
So we got to see a lot more of that. So I was happy about that.
And I can appreciate that.
Yeah. Someone's on a mission. Bustelo has been here, there, everywhere, trying to get us to give him dinner.
I will say, though, it was kind of weird seeing all these kids after so long, and they're all so much older.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
It's so
a lot
weird.
of them look the same. But, yeah, it's always weird when you see child actors. 4 years later? 3 years later? Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little weird.
Did you write Shazamily? Shazam family, Shazamily.
So
you typed that with your fingers.
I did. I said, so this is before in my notes I was talking about how the story sacrificed a little bit of the heartfelt moments between the Shazam family or the Shazamily.
Okay. I will say that wasn't something that I even noticed. I didn't notice that Billy wasn't a big part, like child Billy wasn't in it a lot.
Right.
And I didn't think that it felt any less family oriented than the first one. Until I thought about it afterwards, like in hindsight. I was like, yeah, I guess Billy wasn't in it a lot as a kid. But I don't know, it still felt very heartfelt to me.
Well, I just think of, like, granted, being a sequel, they have to do bigger things.
Right.
As kind of like a rule. And I think the balance was done really, really well. But like, you think of the first movie, and you know, Billy has this whole like subplot with his mom, and like, and how you see, right, and you see how important this newfound family really is, and that's what makes the moment at the end when he's the one giving grace for their dinner so important. So anyway, that's all I meant by that, is that it just, you know, you could definitely see Shazam or like Shazam Billy having that, but we didn't really get that with like Billy in his true form.
Yeah, and I feel like it's less impactful.
Right.
Because we're not seeing like a kid.
I fucking love the gag. Sorry, I don't know why I just thought of this just now. With the letters.
Oh.
Every time they were writing letters.
Yeah. It's like Siri. Yeah. That's funny. There was a lot in there. Okay, if you know me personally, or if you've ever been next to me in any sort of theater, I'm like the most that I'll do in a movie theater is like smile. Closed lip, tiny smile. That's as much emotion as I show. Not because I'm like trying to suppress my emotion. It's just because like there's so much other stuff going on. I'm just not a big emoter. But it got me a couple times in this movie where I was doing a little chortle in the theater, like a little chuckle.
Yeah, and I think one of the reasons is surprisingly from a returning Jimon Hansu. I think that's how you pronounce that gentleman's name. He played the Wizard.
Yeah, he's great.
He's
great in everything he's in. And
I was happy to see him back.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was going to be in this movie.
Think he was going to be back either.
So that was cool, and it was cool how they explained that. But even he has a bunch of scenes with Jack Dylan Grazer. Mm-hmm. And they just played so well off of one another. And yeah, he was very, very funny in this. This movie was kind of hilarious, which I really
I'm excited to rewatch it.
Yeah.
And see, is it going to be as funny as I remember?
I definitely think it has a high rewatch factor.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was very satisfied with this movie. Because it also wasn't overly long. I think it was only 2 hours.
It didn't feel super long.
Yeah. So I think it was paced pretty well. Now the TV spot that we mentioned earlier. So I knew this was coming, and it honestly, the fact that it was spoiled on TV for me was that I knew they had this big emotional, what you kind of think is the getting ready for the end of the movie. Mm-hmm. And I knew that wasn't going to be the case because I hadn't seen this one character yet.
It was like a doubly bad move to put that. We're in this new era that I hate of putting things that would be fantastic surprises in trailers.
Right.
I get that you want to appeal to people and look at this really cool thing that we were able to do. I promise it'll be more impactful and more special and drive people to the theater if you keep it quiet.
Right.
I don't understand the thought process behind that. Do you think that actually drove... Should we say what it was first?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. So the cameo we're talking about, for those of you who don't already know, who somehow missed this, and if you're listening to this far, we're talking spoilers, so whatever. Wonder Woman. We saw Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman in this movie. And there we were fucking watching Monday Night Raw a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it was just the perfect moment where Kendra wasn't looking at the TV, but I was. And I just happened to fucking see Wonder Woman in the Shazam trailer.
And the sound of your disappointment. Oh, you poor child. You were like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I was like... And that's what had me worried initially was I'm like, if they're showing this now, because it's the same shit they did with Batman vs Superman all those years ago. So I'm like, I was so fucking upset because, again, now fast forward to me actually in the movie theater, this big emotional ending to this battle they had.
But that scene hadn't happened yet. So I'm like, well, fuck, I know this isn't the end because whatever. That would have been a cool little surprise and a cool little hint because, we're still, even now, even after this movie, we're still in this kind of in-between phase where we don't really know everything that's going to be kept from this past connected universe going into the DCU with James Gunn. So there's some post-credit scenes that we'll talk about that, kind of allude to one way or the other. But yeah, the Gal Gadot just TV spot, for whatever reason, it fucked with me so much. And I was like, and it was a cool little moment. And they had some fun visual gags with, the Wonder Woman character and some funny jokes with the character. But yeah, so it spoiled the cameo and then it spoiled the ending. Because I was sitting there thinking oh my God, this is the end. They're really wrapping it up because this new shiny connected universe is coming in the future and we need to get rid of everything that's not going to be included. And it was a sad ending.
Yeah.
Well, it would have been. And I hadn't seen that TV spot. So I didn't know it was coming. So then that happened. And I don't know. It was kind of it felt like a, what's it called? Ex Machina? Mm-hmm. Is that what that's called? No, that's never mind. It felt like a very convenient way to get out of the pickle that they were in.
Right.
And it felt like that. They explained it a little better afterwards, but when it initially happened, I was like, this is so fucking stupid. And then they fixed it.
You thought her coming in was stupid?
I was worried that she was going to come in, resolve the issue, and leave without an explanation. Because at that point, we didn't know why she was there. We didn't know how she got there, how she knew.
I mean, you speak for yourself. I knew she's the daughter of Zeus.
I mean, how was she there? How did she know that was happening there at that second?
Because she can go to the God realm.
But why? How would she know to go to the God realm?
She has feelers on the
there's
ground.
People there. I guess I'll go poke around. There's people there.
I'm just fucking with you.
No, they explain it afterwards. Right. But I was so worried she was just going to walk away. Yay. And then we'd never know. And I would be so upset.
Right.
But yeah, I'm sad for you and everyone else who saw that trailer and had the same experience of being I know this isn't the real end. Because you don't have that emotional connection. What a waste.
What a fucking waste.
So frustrating.
But Anywho, overall, still really enjoyed the movie. I think they were freaking out. I think the movie is kind of underperforming right now in terms of box office. But for what it's worth, I enjoyed the hell out of it, as did many of the other folks in the movie theater with us, including one little kid whose laugh just warmed my heart every time I heard it. They fucking loved it. Yeah. And yeah, I would like to see them make more of these. So I guess we'll see moving forward. We do have 2 post-credit scenes in this film. The first was a really, really fun one. So recently, I started rewatching Peacemaker, just because.
Just for funsies. It was a good show.
It's a good fucking show. So in this first post-credit scene, who do we see but fucking Hardcore and Economists from Peacemaker coming through to fucking talk to Billy. So that was really cool. And they had a funny little moment there where I guess Billy is recruited into the Justice Society.
But he thought they were asking him to be in the Justice League. He answered immediately yes after he heard Justice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's interesting because now that makes me think, again, it could lead to nothing because of the new DCU that's coming. But, I mean, if we're thinking about Black Adam, like, arguably the best parts of those movies were the Justice Society. You know, Hawkman, fucking
Tornado
Dr. Fate,
Girl.
Tornado Girl, Giant Guy, you know, what they're
Metal
called.
Man. Bird Dude.
Anyway, those were all really cool moments of that movie. So it would be kind of cool to see how Shazam would kind of play in that group.
And I feel like having characters from Peacemaker be that connecting tissue makes me think it's more likely that they would continue into James Gunn's universe, since James Gunn did Peacemaker.
Right.
And is dating one of them. That'd be playing favorites.
She is coming under a lot of heat on Twitter right now, so be nice.
For why?
Because people think that they say, quote unquote, stop putting your wife in your movies. It's like,
whatever.
He's directed one movie that she's been in.
And she wasn't even that big of a part of that. Whatever. No, she's fine. She's great in that role.
Right.
People
Jennifer
are fucking
Holland,
stupid.
I think's her name.
Huh?
Jennifer Holland, I think is her name.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, it makes me feel like, oh, there's like an actual chance that we're going to carry this over. If only Zachary Levi would shut the fuck up and then shut the fuck up. I think the great advice is to shut the fuck up.
Just shut the fuck up.
Believe whatever you want to believe. Support whoever you want to support. But shut the fuck up.
Because you know who was easily replaced with a new, shiny, better version? Gina Carano on The Mandalorian.
Okay. I will say that Zachary Levi in Shazam is more integral than Gina Carano in The Mandalorian.
That's not what Gina Carano thinks.
Cara Dune, she died somehow.
Yeah. So, and Palpatine returned somehow. So, anyway, just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like,
I think he did a great job of shutting up afterwards.
Yeah. Well, he had to.
Well, because he did say something else. And then after that, he shut up. And I think that's maybe part of why they felt the need to be a little bit more aggressive in their marketing.
Yeah. Because
they were afraid that was going to have a big backlash. And maybe it did. Maybe it did.
Maybe it fucking didn't.
But we'll see.
Yeah. And then the second post-credit scene.
Deep pull from fucking 2019, because I surely forgot.
We picked up with our favorite villain, Mark Strong. It's not his name in the movie, but the actor's name, who I'm sure he comes off as a very nice man. But
he's probably so nice.
But his character is still fucking rotting in prison. He's got a glorious beard somehow, though. And there's a bunch of markings on the wall, and then that little fucking caterpillar comes back and is like, hey, we're about to get started on that thing, but I'll be back.
Yeah, it was just it was as unsatisfying for Mark Strong as it was for me in the audience, being like, you're making me remember something that happened 4 years ago,
and I don't even remember why.
I have no idea. I don't know what he's talking about.
Right. So
he was just a little worm talking, slithering.
But I thought it was cool that we at least got to see his character back
again. Yeah.
In this movie.
It was a nice reminder, like, hey, he's still alive and he's scheming something.
He's doing something.
I don't know what, but
it's going to take another fucking 3 years to probably see what that is.
Probably.
But yeah, so that was Shazam. I really enjoyed it.
I think it's worth a movie ticket.
Yeah.
Go and see.
And I'm excited. Like I said, I hope to see the character again in James Gunn's DCU. But I guess we'll just fucking have to wait and see.
We'll have to see.
So anyway, moving right along, moving into the world of WWE. Hey, guess what, y'all?
We're less than 2 weeks.
We're less than 2 weeks
from WrestleMania 39. WrestleMania goes Hollywood.
Yeah, so super excited about that. And with that comes along just a few more updates to the card, as well as some speculation.
Tasty speculation.
Tasty nuggets of speculation.
I will like to say, don't forget, we will be doing a pre-preview before WrestleMania. So we'll talk about the full card, both days.
Fuck yeah, we will.
Okay, I was waiting. He was winding up for that for a long time. So that was the silence that you heard before then. And we're going to talk about our predictions a little bit more then. So make sure that you tune in on, are we going to do that April 1st?
Well, we're going to fucking have to.
We're going to fucking have to. So April 1st, this isn't an April Fool's joke. April 1st, make sure to go to twitch.tv/Press Periodico. Oh my God. Fucking nailed it. And make sure that you watch us and talk with us and deliberate and speculate with us about WrestleMania 39. Hell yeah.
With that said, a match I'm super excited for. I've been wanting this for the Intercontinental title. Mm-hmm. We're going to have Gunther versus Sheamus and Drew McIntyre. We thought this was going to be the case last Friday when, or not this past Friday, but Friday before that, when they both pinned those other dudes at the same time. At the
same time, yeah. And both won their qualifying match.
Right.
But Mr. Adam Pearce made it official during last Friday's SmackDown that it's going to be a triple threat against those three tall, burly Europeans.
Yeah. I'm super pumped for this match. I think Sheamus and Drew McIntyre and Gunther have all just had stellar 2022s in terms of like the types of matches they've done and have gotten to showcase. I was just thinking the other day about Clash at the Castle, seeing Gunther and Sheamus and then Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns. Just like what a fucking night that was, you know?
That was a great pay-per-view.
Yeah. Might go back and rewatch that. So anyway, I'm super excited to see them in a triple threat. And it's so cool that we've kind of witnessed one of my early complaints when we kind of started getting back into wrestling was that these titles, like the U.S. title or the Intercontinental title, I don't know why I struggle with that word just now, were kind of like not taken super seriously.
They definitely weren't taken seriously.
And so, but just to see like now that they're like, those are like prized possessions now. It's super cool, and I think it's going to be a fantastic match in night one. Don't know if you had any other thoughts on that one.
I agree. I think it's going to be a great match. I think Gunther is the perfect character to be the one to usher in like the validity of the Intercontinental. It's a hard word. Intercontinental Championship. Maybe that's why whoever that was enunciated.
Macho Man.
Yeah.
Intercontinental.
He also enunciated everything, I guess. But because his whole thing is like, the sanctity of the sport. And so I think that's just perfect. And Gunther, I think, has been one of like my favorite new superstars. I don't even know. Yeah, he's only been on the main roster for what, like a year?
Yeah. For the last year, and
he's held this title for like over 100 days, right?
Well over 100. He's the longest reigning IC champ in the 21st century.
Wow. Yeah, that's really cool. And like you said, I'm glad that they're giving more like validity to the title, and making it feel like something worth fighting for at a WrestleMania.
Right.
And yeah, I think it's going to be a great match. Like you said, Gunther and Sheamus had like one of the best matches of the year last year. So I think adding Drew McIntyre to that will only make it better.
Right.
Not even better, just like bigger and worthy of WrestleMania.
Oh yeah, it definitely feels like a WrestleMania match.
Yeah.
And I agree with everything you said about Gunther ever since joining the main roster. It's like he already, when it was just him and Ludwig Kaiser.
Ludwig Kaiser, I think, is my favorite new superstar. He's so fucking funny, and he could just stand there. He could not even speak.
The wrestling sommelier, as I like to call him.
He's so fucking good.
Every time Gunther does something, he just like, it's like he smelled a fine wine.
He's
or
hearing
like
a symphony.
Yeah. every chop that Gunther lands is just like music to his ears. But yeah, and then bringing Imperium like as a whole again, everything just works so well. I don't know why. When we went to SmackDown, we were like the only people cheering.
Were so excited for Imperium. We tried to wave and they did not wave back.
No.
But I can't believe that Vince McMahon like didn't want Gunther to be a thing.
He was gonna give him the boot.
That's insane to me.
Insanity.
How short-sighted and indicative of bad management can you get?
But yeah, super excited about that. We also have 2 Fatal 4-Way Tag Team matches being added to the card, men's and women's.
We have a men's one?
Yeah, I think they're starting that one Monday night, tonight. We're not recording this on a Sunday. But yeah, I believe that's the plan.
Do we know anything about it yet?
There'll probably be
qualifying
matches for Backlash or something, I assume.
For the women's Fatal 4-Way, we already have...
We just got one team.
Yeah.
I believe so far. I think that's Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan.
Yeah. They won on Friday night. Yeah.
Talk about a random team.
Sure. I was telling John, I was like, weren't they already a team? I was thinking of Aaliyah.
Yeah.
And
honestly,
Raquel.
Where's Aaliyah?
Where is Aaliyah?
Ooh, speaking of Aaliyah, has nothing to do with her. But I did want to quickly shout out.
Oh my God, another shout out.
Another shout out. I'm just passing them out like hotcakes today.
Okay.
I was so happy on Friday Night SmackDown. We actually got to see Zelina Vega in a match.
Finally.
And guess what, y'all? She did awesome.
Yeah.
Everyone in that match looked good.
Yeah.
Fucking Dominic and Santos Escobar looked great. Rhea Ripley, Zelina Vega looked great. It was such a good match. And I was just happy that they finally let... I think this was Zelina Vega's first match back because the one match she was going to have with fucking B-Fab from Hit Row. It was interrupted by the goddamn Viking Raiders.
Speaking of someone who hasn't wrestled like a full match, B-Fab.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about women in these factions. It's like, well, I guess just those two. Because Rhea Ripley's fighting every damn week.
And everyone.
And everyone she wants.
Yeah.
And she can. And she will.
And she should.
And she should.
But yeah, so I was excited about that. I hope they give her more opportunities to continue to wrestle. I don't know that she'll get a WrestleMania match. But because Backlash is going to be in Puerto Rico, here's to hoping that they'll get to show her off there.
I would hope so. I hope they bring all the Puerto Ricans and let them do their thing.
Let them fly.
Actually, bring out all the Latin folks. Where are Los Lotharios?
Hashtag, where are the Latin lovers? Where are the lethal lovers?
I need them back on my screen immediately. I'm dying. I'm parched over here.
Folks, she's dying of thirst.
So, one of the current tag team, the women's tag team champions, Lita and Becky Lynch. Are they going to be part of the Fatal 4-Way?
No, at least I don't think so because they are. I mean, unless they're competing 2 nights, but I think they're
going to compete with the winners.
I think so, and I think that would probably happen at Backlash. No, Kendra, because they have a fucking match already.
Who?
I don't know why I got so mad.
What's the point of the Fatal 4-Way then?
It's a contenders match.
For Backlash?
Yes.
Just seems really far in advance.
It's not that far in advance.
When's Backlash?
May? Early May. Happy birthday.
It just seems like, okay, sure.
It's what, 4 weeks out?
6 weeks out.
From the start of WrestleMania.
Yes, from the start of WrestleMania. I'm going to Google something on my phone. Keep talking. So now I'm upset.
Anyway, I think it's a contenders match. But that's...
I'm about to find out.
But anyway, the tag champs already have a match at WrestleMania. They're teaming with Trish Stratus to fight Damage Control.
Right.
You
right.
dolt.
Right. Okay.
This is why I'm the brains of this operation.
Honestly, it pains me to say for these types, you are the brains, unfortunately, and that's it's hard.
But I mean, I say that now, but usually all the other producery stuff happening is very much not me.
Producery, I like that.
Yeah,
I like that laugh.
it's like a dancery, but producery.
What's it that Mary J. Blige says?
In this dancery.
Hateration,
Holleration.
in this dancery. Yeah, okay. We got there, folks. We got there.
I mean, I was already there.
6-man tag team.
Anyway, I was going to move on from this tag team.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, we have a couple questions here. It's not an official update to the card just yet, but we had one pretty big reunion on... Actually, before we even... let's just talk about it. I already started talking about it. We had a pretty big reunion on Friday Night SmackDown. We had the reunion of Sami Zayn and his brother from another mother, Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
Brother Cody.
Brother Cody truly bringing everybody together.
He said, no justice, no peace.
He's a unifier because he's from every country on the planet.
Cody, United Nations, Rhodes.
What is his full name that you we said last time?
Cody Jamal Javier Martinez Rhodes.
Yeah. The unifier.
Yeah.
Just call him the unifier.
So anyway, the unifier brought back KO and Sami Zayn.
Yes.
And KO being a glimmering example of traffic safety. When he peeled out of the parking lot, he put on his seatbelt. He used his blinker.
You know what?
We can appreciate that.
I love that. Thank you.
Someone said something on Twitter that was really funny. I can't remember. Go look it up, y'all. Go look it up, that funny thing someone said on Twitter before. But anyway, now that they're back, their whole thing was like taking down the bloodline. So puts them in a nice little position to maybe challenge for the undisputed tag team championship, which that would be a banger ass match.
I agree.
So I hope that's the case.
I think that's what they're setting up.
And I mean, we'll talk more about it on pre-per-view, but I'm pretty confident Roman Reigns is retaining.
Yeah, we've kind of come 180 on our stance.
I'm not so sure about the tag titles, but I guess we'll see. Especially if they compete for one set of titles. I think if they compete for one set of titles, then that's really the thing. But we'll see. But that match is not official, and who knows? As of this recording, we don't know. But it sure is seeming that way. So, yeah, I would love to see that match. The Usos never disappoint. Sami Zayn's been on fire. KO never disappoints. So, like, yeah, I'm all for this. Either as a main event for night one, or really wherever they want to put it on the card. I think it's going to steal the show either way. The other match in question, and again, as of this recording, is not official just yet, but the will they, won't they story of Dominic and Rey Mysterio.
I feel like we've been building up this tension between the two to get to a Mysterio versus Mysterio. And I think that if they don't do that at Backlash, that's a huge missed opportunity.
Why?
Why not do it at Backlash?
Right.
Because the Puerto Ricans.
They're not Puerto Rican.
I know they're not Puerto Rican.
Oh.
They're very much Mexican.
Okay.
Very loudly Mexican.
It was important to me that you knew that.
No. Doesn't Rey Mysterio have Mexican tattooed on his stomach?
Yeah, that's why I was concerned.
No. I know that they're Mexican. But you can't deny that between
absolutely.
Latin people.
They'd go crazy.
So I just think I think that'd be even more impactful to see there.
Right.
Than at anywhere else. And I feel like it'd be too... Because Rey is still like, no. I don't think he's going to change his mind before WrestleMania.
I think we will see it at WrestleMania.
Oh.
And I think that, again, I don't know how they're going to do it. Because I think Dominic is as good as he's ever been because he's with Judgment Day and he plays off of this like character so well. But I'm wondering if either he somehow gets his mom or sister involved and Ray has to like stop him, or he's like, I'll tell you what, if you beat me at WrestleMania, I'll leave the Judgment Day. Yeah, I think he might have to be some sort of stipulation, like, if you win, I'll leave Judgment Day, but if I win, you have to retire.
And I think we are leading up to a Rey Mysterio retirement, especially with his induction into the Hall of Fame, which I think is like, I asked you if he was already in it because I thought he was, because it seems like a long time coming. But yeah, I don't know. He's getting older. He probably doesn't like all the traveling and physical demands. I fucking wouldn't.
Right.
So, and I think if he's going to leave due to anyone, he'd prefer it to be Dominic.
Right. And I think he'd want to put his own son over.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine if his son's first WrestleMania win
is against him?
Well, his first WrestleMania win in
solo,
in person, or as a solo act.
Yeah.
Would be against his Hall of Fame dad.
Yeah.
Like, that would be crazy.
That would be very cool.
And he'd draw a lot of heat for it at first, but I think that would only build up his like star status. Because again, I think especially over the last few weeks,
ever since he went to prison,
ever since he served
county jail.
no prison. Ever since he served hard time, he's just a lot more captivating as a character, and also kind of in the ring. So I'm really excited about that idea. Again, not official as of this recording,
yes,
but I do think we're leading up to that as well.
Something that is official, though, that I would like to talk about, actually a couple things, because I don't think we mentioned it last time, because we didn't talk about WrestleMania at all last time, did we?
We mentioned a little bit.
A little bit? Did we mention that The Miz is hosting?
I think so.
Okay. Skip. Something that we didn't mention is we have an official Edge versus Finn Balor match. Inside a Hell in a Cell. That was Monday.
That was made this last Monday.
Yeah. And Finn Balor said something very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
He said something, I wonder if they even quoted it in this article. No, cowards.
I think he said something like...
No. You weren't even there.
I watched the recap.
Let me say it. I was saying it.
Okay.
Anyway, Finn Balor said something like... I'm getting double middle fingers.
And I'm getting impatient because you haven't told me what he said yet.
I was trying to see if I could find the direct quote. He basically said something like, my demons won't fit in a cell or something like that. John, what did he say?
I think he said something to the effect of, I've been to hell and it couldn't handle my demons or something like that.
Okay. Whatever. So anyway, but we got a mention of demons.
Right.
Coming from Finn Balor, there's a possibility that instead of Finn, Edge will be facing the demon. And it's been too long since we've had the demon, and I miss the demon.
And he's going to be purple?
He would be purple.
Because Judgment Day?
Judgment, black and purple.
Yeah.
More purple, hopefully.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some the Brood Witch Edge.
Oh. They're both like their evil Nega versions.
Exactly.
Nega, Nega.
Yeah.
Whoa, that was close.
I didn't say it.
No, you didn't. And you won't.
And I won't. But yeah, I think it's gonna be an awesome match. I love that that's kind of Edge's go-to thing. He's like, all right, fuck it, let's settle it. Hell in a Cell, let's do it. I hope they bring back the regular steel cell, not the red cell. I don't know, the red cell just looks weird to me. Never really been a fan. I mean, it's fine. It's right. It doesn't bother me that much. But I agree. I forgot that match was a thing. Yeah. You know, a match is not a thing. I don't think we talked about this at all.
Huh.
As of now, it's not an official thing. Bobby Lashley and Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like Bray Wyatt's going to be at WrestleMania, though unconfirmed. Speculation.
Yeah.
So not sure what's going on with that.
Yeah, it's hard. Oh my gosh.
Oh my fucking god.
Bustella's trying to eat plastic. He does that when he's hungry. What a little dramatic little bitch. Like, how entitled do you have to be to start eating plastic?
Right.
He's like, fine, if you won't feed me, I'll feed myself. Sorry, that's Bustella's voice. Don't look at me in my eyes. What was I talking about? Bray Wyatt.
Bray Wyatt.
It's hard because his comeback was so intricately planned, but also like thrilling and interactive, that part of me is like, is this all a work for him to have some kind of like big WrestleMania thing? Because we all think he's not going to be there, and then he spooks us and he's there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the truth is. If it's actually, what is the official story of why
something
he's not there?
Has like a physical condition,
which
it was
like
super vague.
So yeah, so it's not an injury. It's not
right.
anything specific. It's so weird. So I don't know. Part of me is still like, is this just set up for something bigger? They don't want us to even think he's there, so he can do something 10 times bigger than what we're expecting, or is it like something bad happened backstage and he's really genuinely not going to be there?
We haven't heard anything about it on like commentary, like even if it's like a work, as the people on the internet like to say.
Yeah. Usually they'll address it.
Right.
Yeah.
But because they haven't brought it up at all, I'm like, I think they're just trying to sweep it under the rug and like, hey, distraction. Because we haven't even really seen Bobby on TV a whole lot. Because I'm like, well, what the fuck did they do with him now? And I still think that what I said last week reigns true. I think maybe we'll see the Hurt Business form at WrestleMania against Brock Lesnar, and that's how we get Bobby involved. But other than that, yeah, it kind of sucks for him because I don't know what they're gonna do for him at WrestleMania.
Very interesting situation.
Throw him in that IC title match, make it a fatal 4-way. That'd be crazy.
No. I don't want that.
But anyway, so
the Bray Wyatt stuff, though, I would be really disappointed if they did such a great job reintroducing him back into WWE with like a super interactive, fun, quite frankly scary like marketing campaign, only for him to wrestle like one match.
And let me ask you.
Oh, he's yawning. He's sleepy.
Let me ask you something. What did you think of that match?
The pitch black match? Mm-hmm. I thought it was okay.
I thought it was okay.
It wasn't like...
I don't think it was a bad match.
Whoa, oh my God, that's crazy. I thought it was cool that they did something different with it. If it wasn't a, quote, pitch black match, if it was just a normal match with the lights on, I think it would have been an okay match.
Right.
The lights were cool. Uncle Howdy at the end, he jumped off something really tall. That was kind of cool. But yeah, it wasn't anything like crazy, like match of the year. Right.
Yeah, I think that's my whole thing right now is that like I would love to see Bray Wyatt more, but I don't think that's necessarily the problem. I think the problem is that I haven't seen him wrestle enough. Yeah. And like he's such a cool presentation. Yeah. He's great on the mic, but just the one match. I know he has like other matches I can go back and watch, and they've been like okay, but upon his return, the one match he's had has been not lackluster. It was just okay. And that could have more to do with like just the booking of the match, the type of match it was. You could have any number of reasonings behind it. But I don't know. Like it's weird because even though he didn't win the match, who do we see on TV more consistently? Who do we see having matches more consistently? L.A. Knight. Yeah.
Oh my God. L.A. Knight is unfortunately growing on me.
He's so funny.
He's funny and he's good.
Yeah.
He's just fucking annoying.
So, and I think he's gonna have a WrestleMania moment. I don't know what it is just yet. I have my hopes.
He doesn't know what it is just yet. Yeah, I think that'd be very stupid if they didn't let L.A. Knight have a Hollywood WrestleMania match.
Yeah. I can't help it. Every time I hear his name, it's funny. I think it's funny. You know who doesn't think it's funny? Balls on YouTube.
Oh.
Yeah. Sorry. He said that dude is unfunny as hell.
And then guess what? Now you're giving free promotion to a hater. How embarrassing for you. I'm just kidding.
So anyway, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Maybe Bray Wyatt shows up on Raw.
We have 2 weeks to figure out what the fuck's gonna happen with that. I know.
And that's kind of, honestly, as stressful as it is, I wouldn't want to be involved with it. But for us, that's kind of the fun part. I think they're going to be figuring out what the fuck's going on up until night 2.
Yep.
So, which, you know what, could be fun for us.
Yeah.
Anywho, I think that about covers all the things.
I think so.
So thank y'all for checking us out. Thank you for hanging out with us here at Ringside. If you're not already, please follow us on all the various social medias. TikTok, Instagram, Twitch. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube, and follow us wherever you listen to podcasts. That way you can check us out whenever you have a mo. Oh, okay. Well, I was trying something new, and apparently
Gross. Did not. Don't try it ever again.
It did not land with the old lady.
Lady?
Yeah, with the old lady.
Old lady?
Not like an old lady, but
guys,
like the old lady.
Go. Guys, we gotta go.
All right, y'all. We gotta go.
I have to go.
Peace and
John's ass.
Oh shit! Peace and blessings to you and yours on this fine Christmas holiday.
I wish it was Christmas. No, I wish it was a week before Christmas. That's the best time of the year.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
All right. Peace out.
Bye, everybody.